Well, hello people's internet, my name is Kevin and welcome back to another video. Okay guys, so for today's video I have got my October wrap up, and honestly this is like one of my biggest wrap ups ever and I'm so freaking proud of myself. But then again, I'm kind of lying because this is not all the books that I read in October. These are all of the books I've read since my last wrap up. So really since I went back to college, it's just been very stressful with like finding time to actually read and stuff like that. But I have managed to read 6 books since my last wrap up, so we're just going to jump into this and show you guys the books that I read. Before we do all that, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. It really helps me out a lot when you guys give me a thumbs up, and it's free and it just makes me happy, so please give this video a thumbs up. And also don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel and you want to become part of my Irish reader family, because we're just the best. Without further ado, let's just get into the wrap up. So the first book that I read that I'm going to be talking to you guys about is Brand New Me by Charlotte Crosby. This is an autobiography type book. You guys probably don't know who she is if you are from like America or something like that, because I don't know if she's that famous over there, but anyways, she's like a reality star and I freaking adore her. I find her absolutely hilarious, and I read her first book that she brought out like last year or so, and so I had to pick up this book when it came out and I read it and I absolutely loved it. I found it hilarious and I give this book a 5 out of 5 stars just because I thoroughly enjoyed it and it made me laugh and it was just a quick read for me and I really enjoyed it. The next book that I'm going to be talking to you guys about is going to get a lot of you very excited and happy, because you guys have been asking me to read this series for such a long time, and I finally have read the first book and I'm currently reading the second book, and that is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Guys, I have started the Percy Jackson series. Like, I am waiting to hear your applause through the camera. And I do not know why it has taken me so long to start this series, because I absolutely loved this book. It was so fast paced, so much fun to read about. It got me so interested in Greek mythology, and I'm just loving this series. I love the characters, I love Grover, I love Annabeth, I love Percy, and I'm pretty sure I give this a 5 out of 5 stars. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I give it a 5 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed it and I read it so quickly. And why did I not start this series sooner? I'm so sorry to everyone who's been asking me to read it. Like, why I've been putting it off, I don't know why, but at least I read it. Following on from that, I decided to pick up one of my favorite YouTubers' new book that had just came out, and that is Adult Lessons by The Gabby Show, or Gabby Hanna. And I was very surprised by this book. I was not expecting it to be as impactful as it was, and I don't know, I just was not expecting that from Gabby, and it was really refreshing to read about because I thought it was just not gonna be that like deep or anything, but it was, and I just love Gabby. She's one of my favorite YouTubers, so I really did enjoy this book. I think I gave it a 4 or 3.5 stars out of 5. Because the only reason I didn't give it the full 5, or I had to dock it down a bit, because some of these poems just read like tweets, like they didn't really seem like a poem, and there was other poems where like they were so deep and it was so meaningful and I was relating so much to it, but then like the last line of the poem would just be like a catchphrase or a pun or a joke, and I was just like, why did you have to put in the joke? Like, it was a really good deep poem and then you just kind of like threw in this joke at the end which didn't really fall or didn't really work. Other than that, I did very much enjoy it, and there was one poem in particular that really stood out to me. It was this poem in particular right here, and it's called Question, and it says, "Are you happy or are you not sad?" And that poem in particular for some reason has just really stuck with me, and it's been very deep and impactful to me. And after I finished reading this, that poem in particular was just stuck in my head, and I don't know why, but it was just very reflective on myself for some reason, and yeah, I just really like that poem. And also the illustrations throughout this book were absolutely stunning, and I know Gabby did them all because I've seen her vlogs when she was talking about her doing all these illustrations, so I know that she did it all, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 on Goodreads, as I said. My hair is a mess today. Like, why is that happening? Like, look how long my hair is, guys. Like, what is happening? After I read Gabby's book, I finally finished Lord of Shadows by Cassandra Clare. And guys, I cried so freaking much at the end of this book, because if you've read it, you understand why I would cry. And a lot of people were like trying to get me to finish this book, and like, to all of you that wanted me to finish this book, how did you want me to feel like this? Because I'm literally heartbroken by the end of this. I just love Cassandra Clare's writings and all of her books, and of course I get this a 5 out of 5 stars. I loved it, and I just need the next book, and it's coming out next year, and I just need it now. Like, I need it right now because my heart is broken and I need to know more. After that, I finally had to read a book for college, and that was Annihilation by Jeff Vandermeer, and I gave this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Surprisingly, I actually really enjoyed reading this book for college, and it's one of the first books ever that I've had to read for school that I've actually liked, so, you know, this is a shock for me. This book follows like an exhibition that goes into this unknown area called Area X, where a lot of stuff goes on, and there's been like 12 other expeditions so far, and like the people come back, or sometimes they don't come back from the expedition, and usually when they do come back, like a few months later, they die of like natural causes or something. So this area is very weird, and yeah, this expedition goes in, and it's all 4 girls. There's like a biologist, a photographer, anthropologist, and something else, and basically they all go into the Area X, and they're all 4 girls, but their names are never revealed. Like, you don't know their actual name. All you know is they are the biologist or the anthropologist. That's all you know them as, which I found to be very interesting, because usually you need to know a name to get attached to a character, but you were actually getting attached to the main character even though you did not know her name. I really enjoyed, and I just love the fact that it was an all-female cast, and yeah, I just really liked it. This is also becoming a movie starring Natalie Portman, I believe, in January. I could be wrong about that, but there's a trailer somewhere on YouTube if you want to go find it yourself. And yeah, I am really looking forward to seeing the movie, and hopefully it's going to be a good adaptation. The final book that I read was Note to Self by Connor Franta, and I read this because after reading Gabby's poetry collection, I was kind of in the mood for more poetry, and in this book Connor has poetry included, as well as like short stories or just like pieces of writing to go along with the poems, and this book was amazing. 5 out of 5 stars. If you have not read Connor's previous book, A Work in Progress, then I would highly recommend that you do, and then read this one, because I read A Work in Progress, I loved it, give that a 5 out of 5 stars too, found it so inspirational, and this book was exactly the same, so inspirational. The poetry in this book was beautiful, like so beautiful, and also the photography in here is stunning. Oh, I just love this book, and I could relate to so many parts of it because he talks about his anxiety, his social anxiety, everything like that, and I could just relate to so much, and it was just a beautiful read for me, and I would just highly recommend it if you are a Connor Franta fan, because it's just amazing. Also, my copy is a signed copy because I got it at BookCon this year, so I feel very happy to have a signed copy of this amazing book. So guys, there are all of the books that I have read since my last wrap up, so basically my October wrap up. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe down below if you're new, and other than that, I will see you all in my next video. So goodbye guys!